Thank you for joining us wherever you are. This podcast episode is brought to you by the Old Ways Actual Play team. This actual play uses the They Came From Beyond rules by Onyx Path Publishing. This actual play is performed by adults and in an adult setting. While we try very hard to stick to themes for all ages, listeners should know that this podcast may include various hijinks, mature language, and possible show rewrites. All content, including names, places, events, companies, and etc., which may bear resemblance to entities living or dead, is strictly coincidental. And now, on with the show. Thank you for joining us in another episode of the Old Ways podcast. I am normally your keeper or handler, Michael Diamond, but tonight we're going to get back to our Camp Murder Lake fun with director Miranda. So I'm going to pass all of the stabby instruments over to her and take it away.
Thanks, Mike. We are rejoining our cast at Camp Beaver Falls Summer Camp. And I can't wait to see all of the laughs that we may have along the way this episode. So without further ado, our cast today is introducing.
Hi, my name is Tegan, and I'm playing Lance McCutchinson. And I have to prove myself to be the badass that I am.
Starring
James, playing Eugene Francis Fabacher, know-it-all nerd with perhaps maybe a little sadistic streak.
Guest starring
your friend Nate, playing Quentin Tavish, bright-eyed, bushy-tailed, incredibly eager to keep on making such great friends that are going to last me the rest of my life.
With special appearance by...
Hi, this is Mike, and I am playing Kevin Doxson, the eagerest beaver you know. He's just found a dead body, and then, of course, done exactly what he would always do, which is show his friends the dead body. And he's here for hijinks, and he's hoping they ensue shortly.
We rejoin our plucky camp counselors on the first day of camp. It's bright, it's early, it's 10 a.m., and the campers are just arriving, piling out of buses, rushing off to their cabins. But before we find out what is in store for our counselors today, what did you end up doing with the merchandise, the camp records that were found in bunk 6?
I assumed that we boxed them up and took them somewhere where maintenance wouldn't get a hold of them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, remember we told Mr. Morris we were going to take care of it. Right, Eugene?
Absolutely. We took care of it.
We're going to shove them under my bed.
Some are shoved under the bed. I took a lot of the T-shirts. I put them in a special hidey spot in the woods. There was a bunch of records and paper records, not, vinyl records that we're all listening to in 82. And some of those made their way under Kevin's mattress, some under Lance's, some are Eugene's. Yeah, so basically we gave maintenance a bunch of empty boxes.
Fantastic. So it is the first day of camp. Campers have had their orientation, and of course it's time to start with activities. What activities would each of our counselors have volunteered for, signed up for? How will they be spending this first day of camp?
Oh, I'm totally on lifeguard duty.
Eugene is probably working somewhere, probably like the first aid tent or something, even though he has no idea what to do with medicine. So
I'm refilling all of the ketchup bottles from a larger ketchup bottle in the kitchen and in the food room, what do they call that? The mess? Yeah, so I'm just making ketchup sounds.
Quentin's acquired a clipboard. I am busily crossing off the names of campers, not counselors. I'm busy crossing off the name of campers as they go through their mandatory safety evaluation, assessment, and message. I'll make sure they know their swimming level when they hit the lake, and if they need to use flotation devices, and here's where these things are, and that's where those things are, and I'm crisscrossing the camp, making sure every single camper is safe and protected.
All right, well, since you've all decided to split up and do none of the typical camp activities like arts and crafts or whatever. This gives me the perfect opportunity to introduce the twist, a new feature in Camp Murder Lake that you've maybe not heard in our other They Came From games. So at opportune times, like when our campers all split up and go their separate ways, the director has the opportunity to pull a number of twist cards and then see if they can make that fit into the story. And it will almost always put the actors and their characters in danger. I think I'm going to start with Kevin for this. Now, I pre-pulled some cards, so I kind of know what's in mind here. And Kevin, the 3 cards that I pulled, and I do get to discard one, is the roof was the location, Jess the interesting model, and the activity is crave sex. So that is what I have picked for a twist for you. You can choose to decline this twist or accept it.
Oh, no, I'm not declining. I'm accepting.
When you accept a twist, there are some mechanical benefits for that. If you choose to roll with it, then you let yourself get into trouble. Any dice rolls that you will naturally make in the next scene are considered to have failed, but you gain 2 rewrites.
Okay, yeah. I mean, 2 rewrites could be useful. And what's camp without a little, getting into trouble?
The alternative is that you write it out, which would mean that you don't want to engage with the twist, and then you spend 3 rewrites from the pool, and I discard the twist. But I can't imagine you doing that in this case.
No way.
Fantastic. So you are at lifeguard duty. You are on the lifeguard tower, which I imagine is out on the dock. And every time a kid gets out of the water, you shove them back into the water or make them get back in and tread water because it's swimming time. And you don't really want to be bothered with paying attention to these kids or having to talk to them or chase them around or anything like that.
Right.
When it's about time for your rotation to be up, and you notice a counselor that you haven't seen before walking past, and she kind of looks over her shoulder at you as she walks past the lake and winks at you.
Winks? Well, yeah, I don't think Kevin needs a ton of prompting, especially given the situation in front of him. All these kids at camp are swimming. They're perfectly fine. Nobody's drowning. Little Johnny's perfectly fine. I think Kevin will ease himself very carefully down from the lifeguard chair and throw a towel over his shoulder and take a slight walk in her direction.
And she keeps looking back at you, and at one point she drops her towel and she's kicking off of her shoes, and she's continuing to walk into the tree line.
No shoes in that tree line. That's the sort of girl who likes to live dangerously.
She's taking off the least salacious of clothing, yes.
That's correct. Yeah, so we'll just say step briskly after making sure, again, double checking nobody's drowning, and sort of ease myself towards the tree line and then turn around and give just one last look and then duck into the tree line after her.
You follow her in, and she's gotten a little ways ahead of you, but when you kind of come to this little clearing, she is leaned against a tree, and she has kind of one of her feet on the ground, one propped up against the tree trunk, and she's kind of unbuttoned the top couple of buttons from her shirt.
Well, you're a little new around here.
She just kind of giggles at you, and she reaches into her pocket, and she pulls out what looks like a bike pump.
Interesting. Very, very interesting. I look at her and say, I wasn't aware that this was going to be an equipment check.
She reaches into her other pocket and pulls out a balloon and begins to inflate it.
Interesting. I wrap my towel around my neck and sort of get a little closer.
She pulls out another balloon and starts filling that one up as well, faster.
Interesting. Are you going to do some magic tricks with your hands?
She giggles at your comment and she nods. And she starts folding the balloons together. Fast, and how is she folding it this many times? And then it almost looks like she's gotten more balloons at some point, because when they're finally all twisted together, they look exactly like a chainsaw.
Well, that's interesting. How much like a chainsaw, director?
So she actually grabs a piece of the balloon and pulls on it, and it starts making chainsaw noises, and one of the balloons is going around the other balloons.
Okay, so yeah, I don't really know. I think Kevin would probably still smirk a little bit, like he's not really sure. He thinks this is a joke.
Yeah.
And so he probably takes a step back and says, okay, I got you. Chainsaw, no problem. I take the towel off my shoulders and I spin it real fast. Everybody has their own weapons. You have yours, I have mine.
She steps towards you, and as she does so, you can hear the squeaking of clown shoes under her feet. And she strikes at you with the chainsaw. So she has 2 successes here. And the chainsaw begins to dig into your arm as if it were a real chainsaw. And her frown morphs, like the corners of her mouth go down, and they continue to go down further and further into this weird, wide, clownish frown.
All right, so that's a little strange.
She's going to try to hit you with this chainsaw again. For 2 again.
Oh, jeez. Like, after actually getting hurt, physically hurt, Kevin's going to take off. I'm not going to sit here and have some chick in clown shoes rip me up. Yeah, so I bolt, even after getting, the shoulder ripped up, and I'm probably bleeding now, and the towel I'm doing my best to sort of, put the towel over the wound, and I'm, oddly enough, probably trying to shield the kids at the lake from seeing it. I don't want them to see that, so like I'm gonna hustle past, like work perpendicular to the beach, and get back towards I'll probably go to the first aid tent or the office.
Yeah, you show up at the first aid tent, and the nurse is there, obviously kind of annoyed that Eugene is there because first aid was not an option on the sign-up sheet, and Eugene wrote it in and then put his name next to it. And so Kevin shows up in a hurry from wherever he was doing.
Damn it.
Oh, geez, Kevin, are you okay?
No.
Don't worry, nurse. I have this one.
There was this girl with the balloons.
Ooh, tell me more.
Oh, no, she kept blowing. She was blowing them up,
What?
And then she made them into a chainsaw. Oh.
Wait. What? How much blood have you lost, Kevin?
I think a lot. I think I lost a lot of blood.
Sit down. Here, sit down. He begins to bandage the wounds. He's going to use the trope "this'll sting," which is he's going to basically wrap it up as he has kind of haphazardly watched the nurse do once or twice today, kinda when he didn't have anything else to watch. So, how do I roll for first aid?
You will do a medicine, and we'll call it medicine intellect.
I have 2 successes.
Okay, so then instead of just healing what you normally would, you will heal the entire injury level. So it gets Kevin back to tip-top shape.
But I have to inflict a negative condition on my patient.
You certainly do. What condition would you like that to be?
I wrap Kevin's arm completely thoroughly. I don't want it to bleed through or be a burden to him or get infected like my mom is always talking about. So he may go a little overboard on the gauze, and Kevin may have a hard time using his left arm as flexibly as he did before.
It's okay. I'm a righty. But what is this? What is this? Boris Karloff? Is the mummy now? Or what's...
Hey, listen, this is how we stop infections, and you came to me, okay? Don't worry, nurse. I have them all taken care of.
I give the nurse like a deadpan look, like, you've got to be fucking kidding me.
She's rolling her eyes and putting iodine on some kid.
I turn around and go outside. It's sort of tilted to the left a little bit.
So Lance is working ketchup bottles in the kitchen, right?
Yeah, I imagine when the camera comes in, it sees a shot of red liquid splattering across the wall, only to pan out and notice that it's a bottle of ketchup. And I missed the other bottle. I missed the bottle I was trying to fill up, and it just didn't get it right. So yeah, but I've got almost all the condiment bottles now topped off.
Can Eugene walk in with them as he's doing this with the ketchup?
Yeah, okay,
He will
that's fine.
voluntarily get splattered with ketchup on his camp shirt.
Yes, I love this.
Oh, thanks a lot, Lance. This is the only one that fits me because of my impressive physique.
Impressive physique? You mean your arms are too long for your torso?
Some women like long arms, Lance. Okay, listen, we're not here to talk about that. Look what happened to Kevin.
Tilt in, like leaning to the left a little bit. Yeah, it looks like half the first aid tent was used on me here.
What happened to you? Bug bite?
No, this chick with 2 huge balloons came after me. And then she made him into a chainsaw.
I'm going to look in my pocket to make sure that there's still the appropriate amount of cocaine inside of it.
There is.
Man, what did you bring?
Just a 6-pack of Lowenbrow. But, maybe there was something in it. I don't know. Maybe there was something in that backpack that got into the air. I have no idea. But, I mean, I'd never seen this girl before. Just an absolute bombshell. And she walked right into the woods, and I followed her. And then she spooked me with a bunch of balloons turned into a chainsaw. After it cut into my skin, I fucking ran for it because I was clearly hallucinating, and I probably need mental help at this point. But since my dad left when I was 4, I've got all these repressed memories, and I can't figure out life. And so I just basically rebel and make fun of everybody as a coping mechanism.
Wow.
Eugene's mouth slowly drops open as Kevin goes on this tirade.
That could be a whole album. All right. Fantastic. Well, okay. Are you hungry?
Yeah, I could eat.
All right, sweet. And I go in the back and whip out some hot dogs and toss them between some buns, and I bring them out, and I'm like, here you go. These are the best package that we have. And I go ahead and just start squirting on that ketchup.
What are these, like institutional hot dogs?
They contain at least the parts of 3, possibly 4 different animals.
Right.
Chicken, beef, pig, and pig anuses.
The anus is not a separate animal. Oh.
Let's cut to Quentin, who is performing his safety evaluations. Quentin, I have a twist for you if you would like to accept it.
Oh, no, I don't like anything that I've not planned out beforehand and it's not in the script. Okay, you've convinced me. I'll do the twist.
So Quentin is doing his safety evaluations when young, innocent, wide-eyed camper Kiera, whose favorite activity is painting and arts and crafts, and that's all she wants to do, comes up to you, and she's holding a bloody axe, and she says, Quentin, safety officer, Quentin, I found this in the bathroom, and I'm worried that it's not safe.
Oh, excellent. Thank you, Kira. Thank you. That's excellent work. At camp, if you see something that's dangerous, bring it to a counselor. Now, do you all remember the safety rhyme for an axe or a knife? Knives are sharp and not for play. Keep your hands safe and out of the way. Yes, excellent, Chill. Yes. Thank you. Where did you find this? In the bathroom?
Yeah. The one that's over by arts and crafts.
I'm going to check my clipboard. Does Kira have a check?
Yes.
Kira, so you already had your safety assessment and you remembered the safety rules.
To bring you all the axes.
Yes. Bring me all the axes today, and then it is safe for all the campers to play. So let us...
Mr. Quinn, there were a lot of other weapons there.
Wait, what do you mean? There's a lot of other weapons in the bathroom, Kira?
Yeah, this was just the only one that I could carry. Well, because I carried with 2 hands, like you told me. And I didn't run, and I did the blade side down.
Yeah, blade side down, and then you will not frown. Yeah. You know what, Kira? I think you should show me this bathroom. This doesn't... everyone here, go ahead and study your pamphlets, and we'll talk about page 2, which is the other side of page 1. When I get back, Kira, let's show me where this bathroom full of weapons is.
Yeah, over here, Quentin.
Mm-hmm. And I'll follow Kira.
She will take you to this. It looks like the bathroom equivalent to your cabin, and it is next to the arts and crafts building.
Wow, Kira, you have a bathroom in your cabin, and it's probably a lot nicer than this one.
Yeah, but I didn't want to go back to I was at arts and crafts. I didn't want to go back to my cabin, so.
Oh, are you poop shy, Kira? A lot of kids are poop shy. You don't have to be poop shy. And let me tell you something. You do not want to spend a week at camp and never poop. You do not want to do that, Kira. And a lot of kids try to do that, and it gives them a lot of problems, Kira.
She just stares at you and blinks like, dear God, will this guy stop talking to me about pooping?
We don't have to talk about pooping now.
No, that's not a problem. That's not a problem.
We can talk about that later if you need to talk about poop.
No, we don't have to talk about it, Quentin.
Okay. Well, but you know what we say. If you need to poop, let it droop. But anyway, let's go inside.
I think I'd rather not.
Why don't you stay outside, and I'll go check out all these weapons, okay?
Okay.
All right. I've got this handled. Don't you worry, Kira. I'll walk inside.
Yeah. You walk inside, and there are like 3 different stalls, and all the doors are shut.
Hello, anyone in here? I am Camp Counselor Quentin. I'm just here to take a look. So not at you, though. Is anyone in here?
You see big red shoes sticking out from under one of the doors.
Oh, hi. I'm coming into, one of the counselors said there might be something dangerous in here, and I knock on the door. Is there someone in there?
Their feet kind of wiggle a little bit.
Is everything okay?
The door opens, swings open, and out from the stall comes a clown that is approximately 6 feet tall, very slender, big, baggy clown outfit, white, poofy gloves, the big balls running down the front, big green hair that sticks out on both sides, and a big red nose. And he has a black bag in his hand that looks kind of like a doctor's bag.
What? Hello? Are you the Hello?
He points at the axe.
Yeah, I heard that there was some dangerous weaponry in the...
He holds up a finger and nods his head. And then he opens up his bag. And then he reaches his whole arm into a bag. And then he pulls out a knife.
Oh, you shouldn't have that. Knives are sharp and not for play.
And he gives you the knife.
Oh, thank you. Yeah.
And then he reaches back into the bag.
Keep your hands safe.
And he pulls out a frying pan.
How big is this bag?
Like a doctor's bag.
Huh. All right. That's not sharp. So, that's just a utensil or a tool. I guess it could be dangerous, but...
He hands it to you.
Okay. Oh, it's heavy. Okay.
He reaches back into his bag all the way down, and he pulls out a mole.
Wait, how did that fit? That doesn't fit in there. That is literally too big for that bag.
Then he drops it on the floor, and nunchucks come out, and another axe comes out, and a butcher knife comes out.
I start backing away.
And he just starts pulling weapons out of the bag. And then he puts his hands up. No. Don't go.
Quentin is not a brave man. Boy, child, teenager.
He shows you the bed inside the bag.
Is it empty? I look inside. I lean in a little bit to look inside. I can't help myself.
He snaps it at you.
Okay. This doesn't make any sense. I think I need to ask Mr. Moore.
He claps his hands.
Okay. I need to talk to Mr. Morris about this, I think. And I'm still holding like a frying pan and the axe and the knife, but that's it. I'm full. But why don't you come with me? Leave all that stuff here. We'll lock the door, make sure no kids get in here so it's safe. And I'm backing away still. I'm starting to get really freaked out because this is not normal, not real.
He disappears, and then he reappears behind you.
And that's fine because I keep walking backwards, and I'm like, where did he go? And then I see I see the giant shoes between my feet, and then I bump into his soft clown pants with my bottom.
And you hear deep breathing behind you and a drooling sound. The sound of saliva separating in someone's mouth as he is going to attempt to bite into your shoulder.
Oh, and I'm going to attempt to run the hell away and jump through the little tiny window on the other side of this camp bathroom.
It's unfortunate that this is a twist, though.
Mm-hmm.
He's unable to bite you. He doesn't hit.
All right. Is there a one of those tiny little windows that are propped open with a stick in the other side of the bathroom, sort of whatever building this is?
Absolutely, there is.
I'm going to run for that, and I start to yell, "Run away, clown! Run away! There's a clown! Run away! There's a clown!" But I'm trying to scrabble through this. There's a clown! There's a clown in here! And trying to climb through the window.
Any roll that you make right now will be a failure. You are up to 10 rewrites, so I don't know if there's anything that can be useful for you with those. But you start to climb through the window, but it is small. This is a bathroom. It's not a huge window, and you are stuck in it. And the clown on its hands and knees comes towards you and begins to put your foot in its impossibly wide mouth.
I'd like to spend one rewrite. With Bad Habit, I can push a supporting character into a situation that could be disastrous. And so as I'm like shouting, "There's a clown in here! There's a clown in here!" One rewrite, Bad Habit. Kiara, hearing "there's a clown in here," is immediately delighted and excited because she is the one child in the entirety of children that loves clowns. And so she runs inside because she wants to see this clown.
She runs inside to see this clown as this clown begins to swallow your leg, and the clown is kind of caught off guard. There's all these weapons all over the floor, and he turns around and sees this tasty young morsel that looks even more delicious than Quentin, to be honest. And as you are scrambling out of the window, you hear Kiera begin to scream behind you.
Oh, that's not real. That's not real. None of that was real. And did I take any damage from the foot thing?
Yeah, you took 3.
Took 3? All right. So that's my full bottom row, just a flesh wound.
Yes, so you have just a flesh wound now, which means anytime you roll dice that have a AR next to it for archetype, you get an extra die.
Fall down onto the ground outside this bathroom little window. Poof. And the air goes out of me. And then I'm listening to these horrible sounds inside that I assume are going on.
Mm-hmm. Eventually the screams stop, and then it's just wet noises.
I don't know if I hear that because I'm dashing away. And I'm running as fast as I can back to the obvious place to get help and support for this situation, the first aid tent.
You show up at the first aid tent where the nurse is rubbing iodine on kids. That's real. That's a lot of what she has is iodine and Band-Aids.
I think I burst in, and I burst in with such force that I fall on the ground from it because the door opens pretty easy, and then I'm on the ground, and the clown ate the kid. The clown ate the kid. I think I'm all right, but the clown ate the kid. And then I look up to see the nurse and who else might be in the tent.
Well, right now there's just a couple of other bruised and injured campers because Eugene left with Kevin to go find Lance. But clown, what are you talking about, kid? There ain't no clowns here.
I know. There's not supposed to be any clowns here, but there was, and it was in that creepy bathroom by...
No, listen, kid, there ain't no clowns here, okay?
I saw it!
We ain't having that happen here again. There ain't no clowns, and you're going to keep your mouth shut.
I just glare at this adult who, for the first time in my life, I'm starting to sense possibly that adults are not as helpful as I've always believed. And I turn around and I walk outside the nurse's tent, and I'm looking around for any of my newfound fast best friends that I've made since yesterday.
It probably wouldn't be difficult to find them. It's This is a movie. Quentin sees them and then stomps off. You see them through the window of the mess hall and stomps off over to interrupt whatever shenanigans they're getting up to.
And I'm waving a hand halfway through, and I'm just yelling out clown for no apparent good reason, trying to catch their attention.
Quentin can interrupt our hot dog eating contest.
Oh, I've had like 4 or 5 of these things, so is that like one collective anus?
Eugene waves at Quentin as he's coming up. Oh, hey, Quentin. Look, it's Quentin. And he goes back to talking to Kevin.
Clown ate the kid. A clown ate the kid. I'm out of breath and I sit down. Clown ate the kid.
Are you sure?
I heard it. I heard every single noise. It was in that creepy ass bathroom that doesn't even work. It was full of weapons and... Oh, God, Kira. She passed all of her safety evaluations with flying colors.
I would say not all of them, maybe.
We don't have clown on the checklist, Eugene!
Okay, make note of add clown to checklist.
I'm going to slowly take off the bandage that Eugene put on, and I'll look over at Quentin and say, "You're not the only one saw a clown today, buddy. Trust me."
You saw a clown too?
Yeah, 2 really big balloons. And then there was a chainsaw.
Oh my God. Lance, this is your fault. This is your land.
You guys will believe anything, won't you? I quip.
You don't know the rumor of Beaver Woods? I've got a thing called Rumor Has It.
It's called Beaver Falls, Quentin.
The camp is called Beaver Falls. The woods are Beaver Woods. And it's Old Man Beaver's land.
Yeah, and you've gone beaver crazy.
I mean, who hasn't, really?
So Quentin is invoking Rumor Has It, which means that once per game session, he may tell everyone a strange piece of lore about the environment in the current scene. And in the future, when using that lore to attempt an action for the first time, you can gain a +1 in enhancement.
Lance, this land is Beaver Falls, Beaver Woods, because it's Old Man Beaver's land because of the Gleeman Beaver Companions. You've never heard of this? This is your land.
What the hell are you talking about?
They were a traveling Gleeman mummery group in the 1800s. They stopped in this land and they set up their tent, but they didn't know that the people that lived here were devoutly religious in some devout way. And they didn't take kindly to the Gleeman Beaver Companions setting up a traveling mummery and Gleeman circus here. The entire village, they marched upon the Gleeman Beaver Companions camp. And late at night, they dragged them out of their tents, they strung them up in the trees, and they burnt all of them alive in their costumes, Lance. I can't believe you don't know this. This is your land.
Quentin, what the fuck is a mummery?
I don't know. It's some old word for something. Maybe it means to be a traveling play performer in the Victorian age and beyond. I don't know.
So now we have glistening beaver mummies, and I don't know what the hell is up with all of you.
It's cursed.
I can't deal with Quentin and any of this mummery bullshit, and I'm gonna go into the kitchen by myself to gather knives and do a line of coke.
They're Gleeman, not mummers. They're Gleeman. I said they're Gleeman, Lance. I'm sort of saying this to myself.
I think it's pretty safe to say there's something weird here. Do you have those boxes of... Where are those shirts? I want to look at that clown on the shirt. I step into the kitchen area and look for Lance's jacket. Hey, let me see that.
You come in and you can absolutely see that I just finished shoving something like baking soda up my nostril. The jacket's over the counter.
Yeah, I would just say that Kevin's not the sort of person that's going to make judgments based on illicit drug use, because he's probably occasionally used other substances. But he goes right to the jacket after a passing glance here at Lance. This is the same smile that lady in the woods had. It's painted on just the same. There's no difference. You ever think this place was closed for a reason, man?
You mean before when it was the other camp?
Yeah, I mean the guys, the magazine, right? The magazine from the camper that was found, the hiker, 74. It's 8 years ago. That body couldn't have been decomposing for 8 years, right?
8 years of decomposition, it would be bones and goo. Mostly just bones.
Did any of you see any cops? Now that you mentioned that body, I didn't see any cops come to the camp.
No, they never showed.
Surely Mr. Morris didn't lie about that.
Maybe we should ask him. I mean, if anything, Lance, it's your land, man.
Yeah, and that's why I'm giving you each of one of these, and they each get a steak knife, like a tiny steak knife, like it's like this long.
What are we gonna go? We're gonna go to Ponderosa later. What are we gonna do with this?
This is to protect yourself in case you see any of this shit again. Just don't stab each other.
Hey, guys, I know where there's some really good weapons.
Yeah?
The bathroom where that clown just ate that kid.
Okay, this is the second time you've said that, and it's becoming less funny every time you say it.
I'm serious. The clown ate the kid. Her name was Kira. She was the most innocent, smartest about knife and lake safety camper I checked off all day.
How did the clown get her?
Well, she was surprised by the clown because none of us saw it, and it popped out of a stall and surprised her. And then I tried to fight it off, but it was too strong, and it pushed me out the door. And so I came to find you all because there's no way I could do anything about the clown after I tried to.
All right, well then let's go get these weapons. If nothing else, we got to keep them out of hands of these kids.
And I lead them to the gross-ass bathroom.
Yeah, you go to the bathroom and you open up the door and a party popper sound goes off and then confetti falls from the ceiling and then balloons also fall from the ceiling.
I scream and fall backwards and land on my ass.
What the hell? I take a stab with the steak knife that Lance gave me at some of these balloons.
Eugene, assuming that this is something that Kevin has put together, starts to laugh. This is classic, Kevin. This is awesome.
Yeah, as much as I'd like to take the credit for this one, I didn't do this.
Wait a minute. You're serious, aren't you? Okay, hold on. This can't be happening. We can't have somebody who is running around with balloon chainsaws and clown eating children. That doesn't happen. So there's got to be a rational explanation, and we can find it. Okay. So let's look around. Let's get some weapons just in case it's some psychopath. And Eugene walks into said bathroom as well.
Yeah, there's balloons and confetti everywhere.
Is there a body?
Oh, no.
Is there any evidence that,
There's a smear of red glitter on the floor.
Okay, so Quentin, where is this kid? Where's Kira?
And I come in after all of them. I'm looking around. Do I see any of the weapons? Do I see the bag? Do I see...
Glitter and balloons.
I follow the smear and I'm checking the stalls to see if there's any red feet. And assuming I don't see any, I'm going to push the stall door open where the clown had emerged from, looking in.
There is a single flower on top of the toilet seat, a fake flower.
I pick that up and I turn back to... It's the 80s, so it'd be the gang. So I turn back to the gang. It was here. It came out of here. And it grabbed her. And it left all this stuff. It pulled all of these weapons out of its bag. It probably put them all back in.
Had to be one big bag, right?
It wasn't. You know how they come all out of the clown car at the circus? It was like that. It didn't make any sense. All these weapons came out of this tiny little doctor's bag. I saw it, guys. I saw it. I'm not lying. This isn't a joke. I'm not a funny person.
Funny looking, maybe.
Attention counselors and campers, in approximately 1 hour, we will be having our back to camp night annual cookout and s'mores roasting night. We're going to have a good time singing songs around the campfire, all of us there. This is mandatory.
Oh, fucking mandatory. Of course it's mandatory.
Look, that means I got to get back.
Well, we all have to get back. We're all counselors on this wild journey of whatever the hell is going on here, so...
Wait. Kevin, didn't you say you wondered if this has happened before? Did you say that? Because that nurse, now I just remembered. The nurse, I went to the nurse first to try and get some help. And she said she wasn't going to let this happen again. She said again.
Okay. Well, let's go talk to this nurse. Find out what she means by again.
You head off to the nurse's office. She sees Eugene walk in again and rolls her eyes and says, absolutely not again, Eugene. No, you're not the nurse. You're not the doctor. You need to get out of here.
Don't worry, nurse. I am here on a completely, ma'am, I'm on a professional mission. It's extremely important. We'd like to ask you some questions, if you don't mind.
What is it, Eugene?
He pauses and realizes that he's not really the one who should be talking, and so he kind of flails wildly a little bit at Lance and Kevin.
Okay, you brought your friends with you. Okay. 2 of you have already been in here today. Lance?
Hey.
Sorry, Lance. Sorry.
No, you're fine. It just, I wanted to know if you could tell me a little bit about the history of this place and what it used to be before it was Beaver Falls.
Oh, well, the area has always been known as Beaver Falls. That's not a big deal.
We found a bunch of these T-shirts Quentin did over in one of these rooms, and it seemed to indicate that this camp used to have a different name back in the day.
She sees the patch on your jacket, and the color kind of drains from her face, and she gets this stare out the window.
Yeah, that tells me that you might know something about this. Come on.
Yeah, but no, it's better to not talk about these things, Lance. It's better to not talk about these things because, if you don't talk about them, they just go away. Everyone knows that. That rule applies to everything in life.
Oh, yeah, they seem to have absolutely gone away so far, nurse. So it's working out well.
You can absolutely use, I would say it's persuasion presence in this case. And you get bonus dice for however many quips you've used, up to 5.
So it's total of 6 dice. I have 2 successes.
Fantastic. Unfortunately, that doesn't buy off the difficulty.
I would like to spend a rewrite. How can I do that?
So you can spend 3 rewrites to re-roll. If you want to increase your dice pool, I'll let you do that retroactively this time. If you wanted some additional dice, it's 1 for 1.
Sure. How would I do that? So I could spend, and I get how many rewrites so far? Like, how many do I have in my bank?
We are at 8, I believe.
Oh, shit. Yeah. I would like to have 7 dice.
Oh, no, sorry. We're at 9.
So I'm going to spend a rewrite, re-rolling, and then I'm going to spend 1 rewrite getting an extra die.
So it would be 3 rewrites to re-roll.
Okay. And then 1 more for an extra die. So I would spend 4 rewrites.
Yes.
All right. I got 2, 3, 4, 2, 7, 9, 9.
Still just 2 successes.
No, it's 8 or higher? God damn it.
Yeah.
Expose something.
She takes off her jacket because she's frustrated with you.
So when I see Lance flounder a little bit, I'm going to step in and say, listen, there are kids here that are being hurt. I got nearly hacked up by a chainsaw. The fun and games are over for me. If there's real danger at this camp, then I want to know where it comes from. And so I'm just going to attempt a simple social challenge.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So that's 4.
So she kind of breaks her stare out the window, and she's just don't tell the camp manager that I told you this, because he. We're not supposed to talk about it, but he worked at the camp before when when everything went down. This used to be a circus camp for kids. You probably don't remember that.
No.
Your parents or aunt and uncle don't ever talk about that with you guys, and looks at you, Kevin, and Eugene especially.
What on God's green earth makes you think that anyone would ever talk about going to a circus camp on purpose?
Yeah, and I mean, to be honest, most adults don't want to talk to me anyway.
Well, Eugene, your brother was here when it happened.
My who now?
Your brother was here when it happened. He was one of the ones that, died.
Okay, so that makes sense, except that I don't have a brother that I've ever been told about, especially one that didn't die in a freaky-ass circus camp.
What are you talking? Adrian. Adrian was your brother. I mean, it was a long time ago.
Eugene, the picture.
Eugene suddenly gets very quiet and sits down in a chair. Oh.
Some freak accident. You must have just... you kids were probably just babies then, but all the kids out here, the families came out for the end of the year show. They were going to put on a big circus show. And when they got here, everyone was dead. Well, not Mr. Morris. They found him hid out in the woods.
So Mr. Morris was just hanging out during all that?
Oh, I don't know. He doesn't really talk about it. I think he probably hid out and barely survived. But I honestly, I was shocked that Lance's parents hired him for this.
I understand their shock.
Yeah, I didn't know anything about this place being some sort of circus camp before. So how did they all die? Tiger get loose?
Well, I don't know. The parents showed up and they were just all dead. It's strange. They probably shouldn't have built it where that traveling group was hung. But those are just ghost stories. Those are just stories. It's probably some nutso, I don't know, that came through, killed a bunch of kids. It was a long time ago.
They built a circus camp on top of the Gleeman Beaver Companions murder site?
Oh, yeah, that happened right here.
Why would Mr. Morris bring kids back to this kind of place?
Well, he didn't. Lance's parents bought it. But time passes. This has just been sitting empty land. It's good for the town to have some place for the kids to go to.
Besides, dead kids.
Nothing's going to happen here, Quentin.
The cloud
it's over.
ate a kid. The cloud ate a kid.
No, they can never prove that's what happened.
This couldn't be more bogus. Oh my God. My parents didn't even tell me I had a brother that was killed at a freaking circus camp.
Well, I'm not one to say what your parents do and don't do. It's up to them to raise their own children, I guess. But seems a little messed up to me, but...
Well, if this has started again, we've got to get everybody out of here.
Nothing is happening, kids. We can't just evacuate a camp because you think you saw a clown or so. Probably just some kids figured out what happened, heard about those Gleeman Beaver companions, and playing some pranks on you. You found those old shirts. Bet it's kids in those old shirts.
Eugene looks around at the other guys and kind of shrugs and kind of nods to nurse a little bit when she's looking away from Eugene. Like, this lady's crazy.
Eugene, I don't think she's crazy. I think she knows everything.
Okay, and this is why we say the quiet parts quietly and the loud parts out loud. Don't. I was trying to. Let's go.
Listen, we're going to have to talk to Mr. Morris. He was here before when it happened. He's the one that survived. He knows the most about what's going on. We got to have answers. Nothing else makes sense.
I think that's a good idea. I think we should talk to Mr. Morris. Also, I wonder if there's any kind of history records in town somewhere, maybe at a library or even around here at camp or something, that we could look to for the history of where that Beaver Companions massacre thing happened.
Well, when my parents brought me up here to check out the land, we had to run off this old hobo that lives in a van down by the river. And he might know more about what happened in this area and be more willing to talk to us than these crazy camp counselors. Because I have connections, wizened hobo.
I do know a local bookstore owner. Maybe I could see if he has any old record books while we're in town.
Wait, Eugene, we found a ton of records from the camp in those boxes. And we stored them in the box with all the t-shirts over in that hiding spot in the woods. We could look through those.
Well, we can look through those too, but I'm thinking about the history before this, before the camp. Maybe it means something, you know? It's just an idea.
Maybe we can call him on the phone.
Oh, sure.
It's worth a try.
I totally swiped my dad's phone.
Unfortunately, there's no cellular service out here, Eugene. In the
Absolutely. He didn't think of that. He knows nothing of those things. He just has his dad's phone. It's one of the 3 items on his sheet.
There is a phone on the desk, the nurse's desk, though.
Ooh, there we go.
You pick up the phone and you hear the dial tone, but it's do 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 do.
Go ahead, dial, Eugene.
Listen, this isn't going to work. I put the phone back down. Let's just go meet Morris, Mr. Morris, and get some answers.
All right, but I think they're all in it now, Kevin. I think the nurse is in on it. I think Morris is in on it. We got to be careful. Make sure we bring our steak knives.
Absolutely.
So you leave the nurse's tent, or the nurse's hut, and the sun quickly sinking as night is coming, and soon it'll be time for the big beginning of year cookout, s'mores roasting, kumbaya singing celebration. And you see 2 lights approaching you from the distance. They're approaching pretty fast. And when they start to get closer, you can see a small car driving across the center of camp at you. And it pulls to a stop right in front of you. The windows are all blacked out, so you can't see anything. And the door swings open wide, and out crawls 1 clown, then 2 clowns, then 3 clowns, and clown after clown after clown begins tumbling out of this tiny car. And that is where we will cut this scene and this episode for tonight. So we look forward to everyone joining us again on the next installment of They Came from Camp Murder Lake.